Apologies first, I've got a really squeaky chair and I'm a bit of a fidgeter, so there'll be lots of squeaks coming from me today. Welcome to my podcast. I'm out of breath because I've been running up and down the stairs trying to find things. My name's Julie. I'm coming to you from my house in Suffolk, where I live with my husband and my little cat. And this is my podcast all about knitting, where I let's knit, which I'm originally from the northeast. Well, I am from the northeast, but I moved down here 30 years ago with my husband. And way I is like, oh yes, of course. A lot of people say where I man. So way I is like, oh yes. So it's like, oh yes, let's knit. So anyway, this is my podcast all about knitting, and I've got half an hour before I head off to Jackie and Tony's for a wedding day extravaganza with the royal wedding, which I'm more excited about getting together and having a knitty day and what have you than I am really about the royal wedding. But there's nothing nicer than a wedding, is there? My husband was in Windsor yesterday on business, which I thought was the worst day possible to go to Windsor, but he said when he got back, he said it was absolutely fantastic. He says the atmosphere was amazing. He said there was such a good feel to the whole place. They said it was great, so it's like, oh well then, so there you go. So he got back and it wasn't as bad as what he thought the travelling would be. So right, so you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram and Facebook as Suffolk Socks. Facebook is a bit of a mystery to me. I don't go on it very much, if in fact hardly ever. Instagram is my main social media, and Ravelry, of course. All in Ravelry. Where would we be without Ravelry? So I thought we'd get straight into finished objects, and I don't know if I've got any. Have I got any? Not that I can really show you, really. And I can't remember if I showed you last time. But I will show you... Well, actually, I will show you this one. I have finished my Vinter Fell jumper, which is by Ellie of Scandia Knits. But I was taking photographs of that the other day, and I can't actually remember where I've put it. I think it's in well, I don't know where it is. It's in the house somewhere. And it used to be called the Blue Fell, which means Blue Mountains in Norwegian, but she's changed it to Vinter Fell, which is much easier to say. Well, I think that's how you pronounce it. So, but even with the name change, it's still one of my favourite knits. And I love it. So if you're ever on Instagram, you can see that. Oh, I think it's going to be a waffly day today. I can't even say it's going to be waffly just because of the podcast. I think it's just going to be a waffly day regardless. But it doesn't matter because I'm with Jackie and Tony and they're big wafflers as well, aren't you, Jackie and Tony? See? Right, so this is my new sock design that I've just published. Excuse my nails. I was gardening yesterday and I need to get a nail brush. So this is called Let's Go Fly a Kite. And it was inspired. I grew up right on the seafront, way up north. I grew up in a small fishing village. Well, actually, it was a big mining village when I was younger. Now it's just like a village. And when the mines all closed and what have you. But to get to my house, you would go onto the drive and then up, look across, and there would be like the dirt track down to the fishing quay, and then the sand dunes, and then we were on the beach. And growing up, we spent the majority of our free time, holidays, weekends, after school, on the beach. And one of the highlights of the summer holidays that I can remember of one year was when my dad all made kites, but they were none of this fancy stuff. They were all just made with newspapers. and you know, you'd get the triangles and join them in with bamboo sticks, and you'd make the little ribbons with like bows with newspaper. And to be perfectly honest, the thrill of making the kite was greater than the thrill of it flying. Well, actually it never flew because it was too heavy and there wasn't enough wind. But this is what, and these are the strings of the kites. So that's why I've called it Let's Go Fly a Kite. As well as it being my son's favourite film when he was little, from Mary Poppins. We used to sing Let's Go Fly a Kite. So that's these. It's got my signature Latvian twist cuff, cast on and cuff, down into a heel flap with garter tab, and then into a straight star toe, my take on a straight star toe. Lovely to knit. It's a 10 stitch, 12 row pattern repeat, but obviously, you know, every other row is just plain knit, but really lovely. It's up on Ravelry for sale for £3.50. But yeah, I'm thrilled to bits with it. So I'm thinking I might even cast on another pair of these because one of my girls likes them. So yeah, that's really the only finished object I've got, but there has been a lot of cast-ons. Even, I'm looking, even the Trug with a Shrug has been addressed this week. And a few other things actually. Oh, I have brought it. Right, let's go straight into WIP, shall we? Well, owning a sock yarn shop, as you can see all my stuff behind me, presents me with the biggest problem I have, and that's deciding a yarn, because I want to knit everything and use every wool, but there just isn't enough time. So I'll show you what I have cast on. Well, I'll show you the Shrug with a Trug first. The Trug with a Shrug. I showed these in my, when I was going through all my WIPs in that Trug, and I found these. Now I think this is one of my colourways, but I can't remember the name of it. But it's lovely, really lovely to knit, and it is a BFL. And I've nearly finished the second one. I haven't got that much to go, as you can see, so I might be taking that today to finish, and then I'll have a few. I can never remember what they all stand for. Foes, WIPs, who knows? And that is living in my So Sweet Violet bag, which I bought when I was at a knitting retreat in Cumbria. And there's lots of other things in there that you don't need to see, but it's lovely. And you all know Jules of So Sweet Violet, and that's a little bird stamp, was it there? Which she now has a pin for, doesn't she? And then the little feather on the back. Love this bag. Well, I love all my bags, really. So that's that. Now my other finish WIP is, and this is a spoiler alert. You can see it on Ravelry, but it's a big spoiler alert. And this is my, so don't look if you're doing it. It's A Mother's Gift by the Periscope and Sisters, by Amy and Debbie, who are Debbie Reese and Inked Indigo on Instagram. I showed this to my husband and I said, what do you think of this? And then, silly book, I went and said, are you making a mankini? And I was like, so I keep trying to push that bit in now. But every time I look at it, I think I'm making a mankini. So yeah, this is lovely. I'm on to clue 2. Yeah, clue 3 has just come out. On to clue 2. I will be honest and say I was a little bit stumped on one of the clues, but since then someone has put it on Ravelry, and as soon as I saw the chart she'd done, it made complete sense to me, but I just could not get my head around it. And the wool I'm knitting with is a Seren yarn. It's from Seren Yarns, Emma, who's a hand dyer, and she has an Etsy shop. And these were what we swapped when we were in Edinburgh and Cumbria together. Beautiful to knit up. It's a 75-25 wool nylon mix. But I just thought well, it's cream base, but it's got little flecks of the it's not even rust. It's like got a pink to it as well, but there was a lovely contrast, and it's quite summery looking, isn't it? So I thought, yeah. So that is also kept in a bag that Emma made me when we went to Pomfest in June. She made Tony and I a bag, and that stays in there. So that's my other whip. That's 2 down. My third whip I'm going to show you is my 2-colour socks. Now, because I design patterns, socks, sometimes it's a real dilemma when yeah, and I know I design socks, but I'm not a prolific the way some people are designing, and as well known and what have you. But I do get sidetracked by my designs, and I have a tendency to knit my designs because I just know them. And it's not often that a sock really takes my eye that I think, oh, I quite fancy that. But this one did. I'll get my sock blogger, because I have got a whole half-finished object. Well, I've got one sock. And this is the new sock design by Hoey Locatelli. What a delight to knit. Loved it from cast on to cast off. To the point where I've actually made kits up for this in the shop. I've used Mondum sock yarn, which is a 4-ply non-superwash, which is just beautiful to knit with. 2-colour socks. And you have a 2x2 rib, which I never do. It's a rarity I do a rib. Then you've got the stripe, little bit of pattern. There was a pattern on the top of the foot, but I chose not to do that. It's not very often I do a pattern on the top of the foot, even with my own designs. You know, the pattern is published with a pattern on the top, but when it comes to me knitting it, I'll just do a plain foot. And then I've done a stripe and the pattern toe, the coloured toe. But absolutely lovely. And I've actually cast on the second one. But I think once this is soaked in a wool wash, I think it's going to be so lovely to wear. And I can see the appeal of a non-super wash. Yes, they might not last as long, you know, because they've got no nylon in. But if I'm honest, even my socks with nylon in wear pretty quickly. So that doesn't really bother me. And I'm dreadful for not wearing slippers and stuff. And I do need a new haul of socks, because we got new carpets in January here. But prior to that, we had no carpets for about 7 weeks, 8 weeks even, while we were decorating the hall. And there was one tack on the carpet, on the stairs, because I had tile floors, that, you know, it doesn't matter how much I try to avoid that blinking tack in the wood, I caught my heel on it. I've got holes in every sock. And it's always in my right foot sock, because it must be the one where I put my foot on first. I was like, oh no. Oh, that's my cat jumping off the windowsill. So, and I'm not precious about darning me socks and stuff like that. I should be, really, because it's really frivolous, isn't it? But I just took them out, really. And well, I'm saying I took them out. I don't. I shoved them to the back of the drawer, and then at some point I'll get rid of them. So yeah, so that's my 2 coloured socks, and I've got I do stock Mondum in the shop. I've just placed a new order to update it, because it's so popular. and quite rightly so. It's beautiful. They've got 4 new shades that have just come out. That's coming to me. That I've ordered a little bit more of one of the shades because I can feel a jumper going on. I want to knit the Timely by Libby Johnson, and she's in the process, I think, of updating it to larger sizes. And yes, I could probably do that myself, but I thought, oh, I'm just going to wait till the larger sizes come out. And but I will be doing that in the Mondum. And that's in my field bag with all my pins on. I'm having a bit of a love-hate relationship with my pins at the minute. I prefer the rubber stoppers on the back because the metal ones, let's have a look there. The metal stoppers keep catching me wool on it and it's getting on my nerves. I think there's a lady, T and Possibilities. Oh, I can't remember her name, but she makes bags that are they're canvas cube bags, and I think hers has a lining in that you can open to put your pins on the back, and the backs of the pins are covered to keep your knitting safe. I think I might have to invest in one of them. Although saying that, I'm quite keen to get one of those. Is it the Plistra bags from Knit With Attitude? They're £90. That's a lot of money, isn't it? But well worth it. It was one of my regrets when I was at Edinburgh. There was a lovely raspberry red one that I wish I'd got. But my daughter just lives up the road from that shop. So when I saved me pennies up, I think I'll send her up to get one. Right. My other whip, which is my 4th whip. Oh God, that's a lot, isn't it? And is that my cat? Out here, young mister. Look at my cat. Got butter wouldn't melt in its mouth. It's not allowed in here, excuse me. I'm back. Sorry about that. It's not allowed in here. And this is in one of my bags, the Yarn Tart bags. 'Twas the Knit Before Christmas. And this is an experiment that I dyed a few bags because I quite fancied doing a few colourways. So I dyed this up and I've been knitting with it just to make sure the dye's fast on it. But I don't think I'll be dyeing anymore. I quite like plain neutral colours for the bag I've got. Right, this is my hat for Shetland Wool Week. Now, I get a hot head, so I doubt very much, unless it's Arctic conditions, whether I'll be wearing it. But, you know, I get into the spirit of it. And it's this hat. It was a free pattern. And it's a design by, let's have a look, Elizabeth Johnson, who... It's called The Merry Dancers Touri by Elizabeth Johnson, and it's based on a fisherman's cap on display in the Shetland Museum Archives boat hall. So there you go, and this is it. Now I haven't stuck to the pattern. I haven't done the corrugated rib. I've just done a little cube rib, but it's lovely. It is a lovely knit. I have done a mistake, but I was nearly at the end of the round before I discovered my mistake, and I'm working on the theory that anybody that's close to my head is really either snogging me or checking for head lice. So they're just too close. And what I did was, on the green one, on this green bit here, I must have reversed there, look, I've just missed it. But I don't think you can really see it from that far. And I'm quite tall, I'm 5'8". So unless you're 6'3" or 5'9", you'll not really be looking, will you? Oh, they're so hard and knitters, aren't they? That'll be going. I'll spot a mistake at a mile off. You see, I can if somebody's got a hand knit jumper, and I can spot a mistake at a mile off. It's really rude, I know, but there you go. Of course, I wouldn't see. But yeah, I like this. I don't know if it'll fit us. Will it fit us? I've got a bigger head than... Oh God, doesn't that look shocking? I'll have to get something to highlight my grey hair. I was asked if this was dyed, but it's not. It's natural. And I had a few grey hairs. Then it came into force about 6 years ago. I had a bit of a rough time 6 years ago with a boss who was a right bully. I don't even know. I was talking to somebody about that, and it just seems to be played on my mind for a bit. Anyway, my hair started to go really, really white. And then something else happened, and then it just all went white. And when I once got it highlighted, but when they put the dye on this bit, it just would not take. So it's just a feature now. And my kids love it. They say, don't ever get rid of it, Mum. It's lovely. So anyway, to the person who asked me if it was natural, yes, it is. I just wish it was that colour all over. One of my friends, Anne, has got the most beautiful white hair. Oh, and she's lovely. And she's got her hair like a little pixie. Well, that sounds awful, doesn't it? But, you know, it's over 8 years and short. And she just looks so glamorous with this white hair. It's stunning. I just want to make up one day my hair be her colour. But I don't think that's going to happen for a while. So anyway, I told you it was a waffly day, wasn't it? So this is my, what did I call it? Merry Dancers Tory. And I'm knitting it in a mix of Jameson's and Jameson's Spindrift. And this is the hat for Wool Week in the Shetland Islands, which I'm going to with Emma and Tony, and we are so stinking excited. All the classes come out today. I'm not doing any of the classes. Classes are really expensive, and they're great. Some of them are really, really good, but I've had to give myself a good stone talking to and think, you know, I could spend, you know, up to £100 on a course, but I know that when I come back, I will never ever take that, what I've learned, any further than probably from what time I spent in the course. And two things are, I think, well, that would be a waste of my money, a waste of the tutor's time teaching it, and it might also take the place of somebody who desperately wants to learn that. And I just thought, I have to say the price of the course steered me to not doing it more, but there's some fabulous things going on, and all of them they all come on sale this morning, so I'm hanging back to book our places on some of the courses. There's a talk with Susan Crawford, the Vintage Project, her new book that she was at Wild and Mully in London last for Yarn Shop Day, and I was quite keen to go, but the decorating in my kitchen called. Was needed more. So she's going to be doing, Susan Crawford's going to be doing a talk, and I saw her being interviewed on a podcast. I can't remember which one it was, but she was lovely, really lovely, and I think that is going to be my purchase when I'm at Shetland. Well, one of them. Oh, it's so bad, isn't it? I wish I just had more willpower, but I haven't. So anyway, so that's that. I'll put my pattern in the bag while I'm sitting waffling on. Otherwise, it'll be forever lost in the bowels of my shop room. Right, I've got 2 more whips to show you. Oh, that's a lot, isn't it? Because I know I've got some downstairs as well. But they're socks for the shop, and they don't count. That's work. Right, my other whip is in this bag. I've got 2 homemade bags here. This was made by my future daughter-in-law, Lydia, for Christmas. Oh, do you know, I was thrilled to bits with this. And this has got a making that is for my eldest daughter, Lucy, who's very knit-worthy. Well, she might not be after she gets this. And this is the Piece of Silver by, is it Vera Fell? No, it's not Vera Fell. Let's have a look. I've got the book here. Yeah, Vera Fell, another one of my favourite designers. We knit the pattern a little bit shorter. Sorry, that was my phone just being distracted me. We knit the rib a little bit shorter because she doesn't like it right up. And I'm knitting the small, those extra small. I'm knitting the small because she's just little. And it's lovely. I keep looking at it, think it's tiny, but it would never fit me. It would be like a straight jacket if it was. And I'm using some Hot Socks tweed that I stuck. I've got the, let's have a look there. Oh. And it's greys and like taupes, caramels and what have you. She picked it. And this is a commercial sock yarn that I stuck. Really nice. Lovely to knit with. And I just need 3 balls. So it's like £27 for to knit her a jumper. I normally, when I'm knitting a jumper, I think I might have said this on the last one, when I knit a full ply for a jumper, I more often than not use a 3.5 or millimetre needle. But the pattern for this states a 3.75. Now, if it was for me, because I know my gauge and everything, I could just pick up a 3.5 and knit the size I need, because I always go up a size and down the needle. But because it's for Lou and I'm knitting a smaller size, I don't really know what it'll turn out like. So I'm sticking to the needle pattern. And I know I have not done a gauge square. There you go. So shoot me down. Never do a gauge, but I did for my Vinter Fell mind. But I'm loving it. Absolutely lovely. Lovely to knit with. A good everyday jumper, you know, hasn't broke the bank. And yeah, so I've knit all that with 100 grams. I think, you know, I think chances are we'll probably just break into the 3rd ball. But I can knit on a pair of socks. And that's in another bag that Emma made me for Christmas. Oh, I love this one. Very nice. And I'm going to show you my final whip. And this was just cast on a whim. And I realised that, I do realise I shouldn't have cast it on really. I was just thinking, oh, I want, my head was somewhere else. And I just thought, I'm going to cast that on. And really I shouldn't have done. But you know, there's no knitting police. It's hanging up on my hooks there. Not harming anybody. And this is the Blink jumper. And it is by this lady, or this person, Reinhild Valand. And it's a design for loop. Oh, loved it. I saw the samples of it in Edinburgh. And I've cast this on. Now, oh, I don't know what happened to that. I actually might take this today because it's just knit. I'm not going to put the pockets in because I'm just not. I might change my mind. But there you go. It looks a bit messy, but I'm sure with the block, once it, oh, it's massive. Look at that. And I tried the shop sample on, and they said it was a large, but and that fit me just nice. I'll have to get Emma. Emma took a photograph of it, but it's just huge, isn't it? Although, do you think it'll go? I'm stretching it, see what, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I like things really loose and what have you, because whilst I look like a massive size whatever, when they're really baggy, I know underneath there's just a normal size 18. Isn't that fast? I don't mean it disrespectful in any way, but I do have a tendency to make things big, really big, because I'm busty, and sometimes when I put things on I think actually that's too big, and but to knit a size small I'm always a bit worried in case it's a bit small, so I always err on the side of caution, knit a size bigger, you know. So it's just women's perception, isn't it? And it shouldn't bother her, because I'm happy as Larry the size I am. It's other people that aren't, I think. Well, that's a bit of a rant, isn't it? Anyway, and that's all my whips. Acquisitions. I haven't got any of the yarny kind, because I'm saving up for Shetland, but something came in the post for me today, like this week. And oh my giddy aunt, it made me cry. Big fat tears crying. When I was at the knitting retreat, Amy and Debbie were there, and I always take a few gifts for different people, and Amy was telling us about, they were telling me about how their mum had gifted them this sister's trip of a lifetime to England and come on the retreat and go up to Edinburgh and what have you. And their mum just sounded lovely. Well, she sounds lovely. She is lovely. So I had in the bottom of my bag a sock blank that was a limited edition that I had for a club that I did. So I decided to gift it for Amy's mum, Nancy. And this week I got a parcel from Nancy, their mum, with this shawl in. And she said that she had lots of shawls and lots of socks. So she decided to knit my sock blank up into a shawl and gift it to me. Do you know, I was absolutely elated. And this is the shawl, and it's right my colour. It is my Suffolk Socks colourway, Mama G. That was a limited edition. I didn't even keep one for myself. And this is it. I have got a jumper in this one, but I dyed it up onto skeins, not a sock blank. And this is it. Do you know, I am absolutely overjoyed that somebody took the time. I don't know the design. I'm going to have to find out the design of it. That just somebody took the time to make me something. And it's like, it couldn't have been a better post ever. Came just at the right time. Oh, absolutely thrilled. So Nancy, you'll probably not be watching this, but Amy might be. So thank you so much. You've made it to the top of my Christmas card list. Top of my prayer list you have. So thank you so much. I can't even, I was just delighted. Because I mean, I think the only other thing I've ever had knitted for me is a pair of socks from our Lucy for Mother's Day. And when I give my socks, I always say to people, you've got to wear them, mind. You know, especially me mum. You've got to wear them, mind, mum, otherwise it's a waste of time me knitting them for you. But with our Lucy's, I like have them still in the gift bag. Every now and again I'll wear them, but when they're washed I put them back in the gift bag to give us a film. I've fallen into that category that they're too good to wear. But and so that's 2 hand knit gifts I've got. Oh, absolutely love it. So thank you. Happenings. I haven't got anything happening really of late. I'm going to Shetland, which I'm really looking forward to. My son's getting married in July, which no doubt you'll be sick of hearing about that. I've just bought me shoes. God, I'm going to look a right state in them. They're about that high. And, well, as my sister said, we'll look like her in her heels, and me and mine will look like Dick Emery walking down the road. And my sister-in-law, Maggie, I don't know if she's got heels, but I know she never wears high heels. So there'll be 3 of her. 4 of her, all the sisters, what have you. But I got that, and I even got a hat. So I doubt I'll wear the hat, but it's there in case I want to. So I've got that to look forward to. Then, and that's going to be beautiful. We're having it at Lydia's parents' home in a marquee in the back garden. And Lydia's parents, well, Lydia's whole family are lovely. So it's going to be a lovely get-together with both sides of family, celebrating something so lovely. So got that to look forward to. Then, prior to that, my husband's going away for 3 weeks to Norway and coming through Denmark. So I've just mentioned to him this morning, you know, if I find a shop en route, will you pick me up some halt yarn? And he said he might not have enough room in his panniers. Now I'm working on the theory that we've been to Germany, to Italy, Spain for 3 weeks on the back of that bag, and I've packed for both of us. So if I'm not going, my space can be taken up with wool purchases that he might need to make en route home. Because he is going for 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Then I've got the wedding. Then just after the wedding, it's our Pearl wedding anniversary. 30 years. Yeah, I can't believe it. I cannot believe that I've been married to my husband for 30 years in August. I've loved every minute of it. I have really. I'm not saying that's untrue. I have really. I love being married. Anyway, and we weren't going to have a holiday because he's doing Norway and I'm doing, but we always go down to a place in just up from Bordeaux, a place called Lacanau, and we'll hire a caravan there, and we absolutely love it. It's a really commercial campsite, but it's in woodlands. It's got private access to a lovely beach. It's a lovely walk to the town up the road, and we've been for about 7 years. We've probably been seven times. And, you know, we've been with our own caravan twice and, just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So we've decided if we can fit in a week, we're going to do that between the wedding and my Shetland holiday. Then in September, I've got the Shetland Islands, which you'll be sick of hearing about. Then I'm back for 2 days, 3 days. Then I'm going to a knitting retreat. Well, actually, the details haven't come out for that, but I've already said I want to go. They might not let us go, actually. I'm sure they will. I'll just have to be really nice to them. Promise to do things and behave myself. So I'm hoping to do that. So yes, so that's all my happenings. And then when I come back, it's gearing up to Christmas. I've already got planned the Christmas kit. I'm not doing an advent calendar. I have been asked if I'm doing an advent calendar. I'm not doing an advent calendar. Just because there's lots of indie dyers out there who do advent calendars. So I won't be doing that. But I have got a kit that's coming out. And I think it's going to be a kit with a new bag. I've got a new bag coming out because I've reduced all my bags in the shop down to £6. All the yarn tart bags down to £6 because I've got a new design I'm coming out and I don't want to have too many bags in the shop. That will be geared for Christmas. Well, for Christmas. It hasn't got a Christmas slogan on it, but it will be like what's going to be in the Christmas kit. And I think it's going to be a non-superwash wool. And there's going to be 3 colours involved in it. And it's going to be a commercial yarn. And you'll probably get one of the balls half price. I'm going to do it as cost effectively as I can. Yes, that's going to be my Christmas kit. And I'll have a few other things in as well. No chocolate though. I'm not licensed to sell chocolate. I think. No, I know I'm not. So, nothing smelly. So yes, so that's it. So now, it's 8 minutes past 10. All the tickets will have been released for Shetland Wool Week. I'm on a mission now because I've got to get three events. So I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy your weekend, waving your flags for the royal wedding. These are my pretend flags. So I'm going to go and get me tickets, then I'm going to run into town and buy some posh puddings for what I have, because Tony's doing starters and Jackie's doing main and I'm doing pudding. They're doing healthy, so I might do naughty. I haven't decided yet. So yes, so anyway, stay safe, happy weekend, happy knitting, and we will chat soon. Bye bye.